Challenge accepted. Craze that is sweeping YouTube travel channels everywhere. It is the 10 RV Lifestyle Question Challenge. And to be fair, we have not been formally challenged
on video,
on camera yet, but we have kind of sort of been challenged via message, by social media, by S'more Camping with the Shrags, and by the Traveling Buckeyes. So I guess 2 of those equals 1 on video challenge. So
sounds good to me.
That's what we're going with. And we thought about doing this anyway. We've seen so many of these done by you folks that we follow and that we're interested in, and we've learned a lot about you guys. And we wanted to do something like this to have a chance to further introduce ourselves to everybody and let you guys learn some more about us. So we were going to do it anyway. Now we've got an excuse.
So there.
So there we go. So starting with question number 1, which is a good place to start. If you could change or add one thing to your RV, what would it be?
More counter space. Our RV is really small, and we have basically no counter space. The only counter space is the stove itself when the cover is on it. So anytime we have to do anything, we have to move everything.
I mean, anything.
Anything.
No matter what it is.
It's constantly a rotation between the table, the couch, and the top of the stove.
Well, I guess stemming off of that, mine would be larger sinks. It grinds my gears that I walk into our little bathroom and I want to wash my hands. Something as simple as washing my hands. And I have to just try to fit my hands together underneath the faucet. It just drives me nuts. So bigger sinks, that'd be mine. Okay.
Number 2. What's something you didn't expect when you got your first RV?
I did not, well, I knew about water management. That's my answer. I knew about it. I knew that you've got a finite amount of space to keep your fresh water, gray water, black water. So I was aware of it, but I guess I had no comprehension of how fast that 2 people can generate wastewater. I mean,
gray water especially.
Gray water especially. And our first trip, we'd taken showers and pouring stuff down the sink, and a day and a half our gray tank's full, and we had to kind of surreptitiously get rid of some gray water in a way you're not really supposed to at state parks because we just didn't know any better. So that was huge. We didn't have any clue. Well, I didn't have any clue about how you really have to watch your water consumption.
Right.
What's yours?
The refrigerator. We were not aware of how long it would take to cool off that smaller refrigerator. We didn't know about the little slide thing in the back to lower the temperature.
And don't count on your RV dealer telling you about it either, because ours sure didn't.
Right. We put everything in the refrigerator and kept checking the temperature to make sure it was okay. We had coolers and it would not get cold. So we finally searched for about 2 hours and finally found a video that showed on YouTube to show us how to slide that little thing on the louver in the back to make it colder. But also, not having it in our backyard at the time, it took longer to cool it off because we couldn't cool it beforehand. Yeah. Right. All right,
number 3. What was the deciding factor in buying your first RV?
The Murphy bed was my choice. Or, well, I think it was both of us. But we didn't want to crawl over each other to get in a bed that's, permanently affixed sideways.
East-west, yeah.
And we needed something small, and that provided us extra space during the day to get the Murphy, put the Murphy bed up, and then we have a sofa. So
combining sleeping and living area. Yeah.
Right.
I would say mine would be towability. That was the thing I was most worried about. At the time, we could not afford to purchase an RV and a new tow vehicle. Right. So we had to get something that we could tow with what we had. And we really wanted the model up from this Rockwood's Mini Light line. And even mathematically, we could have towed that, but it was getting awful close to the number limit, and I just wasn't comfortable cutting it that close. So we compromised and dropped down a notch and got the single axle 1905. And So that was, but again, if towability wasn't an issue, we probably would have gotten something different. But this is what we could pull, so that's what we got.
All right, number 4.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite meal to cook at camp?
I would have to say I really enjoy just cooking burgers, grilling burgers. I've grilled burgers a lot for parties and sometimes for us at home.
Mhm.
But I have really enjoyed our little Weber tiny gas grill and doing the burgers on that thing. It almost doesn't feel like a camping trip if we don't have burgers at least once. I think we're doing burgers as soon as we finish shooting this video.
We are.
And I'm looking forward to it.
For myself, fixing something in the crock pot so that I can dump everything in it. We can go about our day, go on an adventure, go sightseeing, go on a hike, whatever we have planned for that day, then it's ready when we get back.
And we get back and we open the door and that aroma just wafts out.
And it's really easy cleanup if you get the liners that go in your crock pot. You just tie it up, throw it away. So it helps on, clean up at the end of the evening too.
Number 5. Well, I asked the question first off, but what's your must-see RV destination? And I before I throw it to you, we've seen some challenges where folks answer that question in such a way that it's what destination do you fantasize about visiting? And then I've seen other folks that answer it in the manner of what destination do you enjoy going over and over again? So I don't really know exactly which way it's meant to be answered, but we like the fantasy answer best.
Right,
so that's
right.
the one we're going to give. So, shoot.
My fantasy destination, there are plenty, but I guess the top one on my list would be to go to Yellowstone. Since it is the first national park, seems right,
Yeah.
Want to go there. I want to see Old Faithful, and I want to see the landscape, and just kind of take a step back in time to the days when national parks were just getting started.
Similar answer for me. I'm typical RV dreamer. Yes, Yosemite, Yellowstone, Alaska, like that. But if I'm picking one, I would like to someday see Teddy Roosevelt National Park, Badlands National Park, up at the Dakotas. There's something about that geographic region that draws me. I guess in the same way, if you ever saw Dances with Wolves and the scene where John Dunbar is asked, why do you want to see the frontier? And he says, before it's gone.
I've always wanted to see the frontier.
Do you want to see the frontier?
Yes, sir. Before it's gone.
Not that I think the Dakotas are going anywhere, but just there's something whimsical, throwback to the Badlands that just draws me. I'd like to see that someday.
Okay. All right. Number 6. What's your favorite thing about RVing?
I guess harkening back to the previous answer, the opportunity to do things travel-wise that we wouldn't otherwise. We've joked before about being sticks in the bud before we got an RV, and we weren't. We traveled a little bit, and we have done and seen some wonderful things, but they're things you would do in an RV. And hence, since we've got an RV, we've been places and done things that we never would have otherwise, and it's just opened up an entire new world for me, and I guess for both of us.
Yeah, definitely. And going along with that, for me, it's having everything right here.
Mm-hmm.
I like having my own bed and my own sheets and my own bathroom, and even my own kitchen. Not to constantly go out to eat and spend the extra money on a restaurant meal if you don't have to. Going out to a restaurant meal is really nice on occasion, but I don't want to do it every day.
Being able to eat in your underwear.
That's a picture for you. So, but also just, not having to leave the room in a hotel and go down and find a vending machine. I like having my stuff with me.
Number 7, lucky 7. What's your least favorite thing about RVing?
The constant cleaning. With our camper being so small, I think I clean constantly, sweeping out leaves and sticks and rocks and sand. Because our RV is so small, it's just that one constant little path that we're going in and out, especially on our multiple rainy trips. It's a mess.
We daydream about finding a state park that has linoleum everywhere. Well, stemming off that answer, a similar answer to me. I dislike always being at the mercy of the weather. And we've joked with you folks on camera, but we're not really joking, actually, probably the truth. How, we're weekend warriors, so to speak. So it just seems like every time we touch this thing, there's a 75% chance of rain.
If not more.
If not more. And we make plans to do things. Okay, we're going to Friday do this, Saturday do this, Sunday do this. And as soon as we get in the camper and drive off and the heavens open up and it starts pouring and all the plans are just gone in the shredder. And that's been the thing that really just...
It's disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, number 8. What's a must-have on your next RV?
Dual axles. The Falcon's a single axle, if you folks have seen before. And we've not had a lick of problem with it so far. But the law of averages are going to catch up to us someday. We're going to have a flat tire someday. And if you've got 2 wheels and one of them goes flat, you're not moving. If you got 4 wheels and one of them goes flat, you can move. And every time we hook up and go, somewhere in the back of my mind is that little bit of paranoia. We're going to have a flat tire today, and we're going to be up Poop Creek. And it just, if we had a dual axle camper, that fear would not be with me all the time. So that's a must on the next one.
Okay. My must-have is a separate sleeping and living area. I love the Murphy bed, but being that it goes over the couch, which is our living area, where the TV is, if I'm ready to go to bed and he wants to stay up, I have to kick him off the couch, and he either has to watch TV in bed, or he has to sit elsewhere. And
I don't mind watching TV in bed, but there's no headboard on our bed, so I'm kind of having to like this to watch in bed, and it just. Number 9, what's your favorite adult beverage to consume at camp?
I don't drink a lot of adult beverages, but if I want something, maybe an Angry Orchard, like a cider beer, or a glass of wine, or a margarita. On rare occasions, it's not all the time.
I'm not even sure if this question is even applicable to me. I've never been an adult beverage consumer of any note. I don't like wine. I'll drink the occasional mixed drink if it tastes good, but I'm not a drinker in that respect. I mean, the number of times in my life that I've said, I'll have a beer. You could probably count on one hand, have a finger too left. If somebody hands me a beer at a party or something, I'll drink it to be sociable, but I'm not a beer drinker. I mean, so I don't know if I really even have an answer to this question. I'll drink a Pepsi. I don't know.
He's so easy.
Okay, last but not least.
What is your favorite indoor RV accessory?
Indoor makes it a little bit easier to answer, and you can laugh at me. I have several, but the one I would have to say I like the most is our Fire TV stick. I know it's called camping. I know you're supposed to be getting away from it all. Heck with that. I don't like being cut off from the rest of the world, from civilization. It's called glamping, folks. Last night I wanted to watch the World Series. There's tree cover everywhere. You can't always get over-the-air TV signal. Thankfully, Verizon's pumping enough signal in here. I could watch the World Series last night thanks to our Fire TV stick. I can keep up with you good folks on YouTube because of our Fire TV stick. So that's my answer, and I'm sticking to it.
Oh, okay.
What's yours?
Well, mine's kind of silly too, but I like my coffee maker. It's not your typical coffee maker. It's not electric. It's not a Keurig. It's actually just a device that holds a coffee filter. You put your coffee grounds in it, you pour hot water over it, it makes a cup of coffee. Since he doesn't drink coffee either, I have a lot of vices.
That's a separate video.
He's not a coffee drinker. I do like a cup of coffee in the morning. So it allows me to make a cup at a time. It doesn't require electricity if you don't have it. If you're boondocking somewhere and you just want to, heat up water over a campfire, as long as you can make hot water, you can make a cup of coffee.
It looks like a science experiment what she's doing.
My little filters and everything.
Just
look at the video.
Like a Bunsen burner and.
but it brews a nice cup of coffee.
That's what counts. That's our 10. We enjoyed getting this opportunity to let you folks learn a little bit more about us. Now comes the part where we're supposed to come up with someone else to challenge, to keep the chain letter going. I wonder who. Chris and Lisa Wilson of Camp More Barkless. You've been challenged. Let's find out some more about you guys. Answer the 10 questions and get your video up and let the world see what your answers are.
And if you want to know more about us, continue to watch our videos. Click the notification bell so you can find out when we drop new videos. Subscribe.
Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your next door neighbors, tell the mailman.
And give us a thumbs up and leave us a comment and let us know a little more about you.
So, on that note, what's that thing that we always tell them to do? Oh yeah, keep living and learning.